What's up everyone? My name is Frankie W and welcome back to my life. This is the Christmas haul. Oh Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree. Basically I asked most of my family, my mom, my little brother, myself. I asked everyone to buy me books for Christmas. So we have, this is a video game, but we have a few here. Then we also have this bag. Oh no! A bauble from the tree was in the bag. Oh no. Anyway, fun fact, even though my little brother's being a pendejo right now, he did get me this Cheshire cat for Christmas, so he's joining us for the haul. You can't even see all of the books, but ooh, muscle. Some of these books have been on my list for a while. Some of them different booktubers or book talkers have talked about, or I just kind of wanted to read, you know, see what all the hubbub is about. So, actually, oh, where did it go? First book we're going to talk about is Shiny Little Things. Shiny Little Things is a novel by Frank Stangle, and I don't know everything about it, but I know it's a little bit more young adult. But when I was going Christmas shopping with my family, my mom and I walked by the booth that Frank Stangle, or his name is Francis, I think, was at. He talked to us about his book. It's young adult and fantasy, 120 pages, and he is a self-published author. He does all of it himself. He said his contact information was inside, and then he signed it and left me a note, and it says, "To Frankie, it was my pleasure meeting you. You are such a nice person. The world needs more people like you in it. All the best, Frank. Keep on writing." And this was copy 3,994. So thank you, Frank. I want to read this year, and maybe I'll get the next books in the series because I love to celebrate and support independent authors, because I love to write. I'm in a writing group with my friends. All my friends are amazing writers, so that's book number 1. Now I'm going to do the 2 that I bought with my own money. That would be You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight and I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me. So You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Kaylin Bayron is basically Camp Mirror Lake is this, I believe it's a haunted attraction. Yes, so there's our main character's name is Charity, and her summer job is her being the final girl at Camp Mirror Lake, and guests pay to be scared there. It's a full contact terror game, and basically they're recreating they're recreating a slasher film called The Curse of Camp Mirror Lake. This is the line that really, or the paragraph, not a sentence, I think it's a paragraph, but this is the paragraph that really intrigued me. It's the second one. It says, "But on the last weekend of the season, Charity's coworkers begin disappearing. And when one ends up dead, Charity's role as the final girl suddenly becomes all too real. If Charity and her girlfriend, Bezzy, hope to survive the night, they'll need to figure out what the killer is after. As they unravel the bloody history of the real Mirror Lake, Charity discovers that there may be more to the story than she ever suspected." ... I've never read a book by Kaylin before, but I have an affinity towards horror. I love horror movies. It's my favorite genre. Scream is my favorite horror film. Next would be Chucky, or all of the Child's Play and Chucky franchise. So horror books are really interesting to me. This shelf is actually starting to become more of a horror murder mystery type thing going on, thrillers and stuff. Then we also have I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me. So this is my SDC exclusive manuscript right here. I have started reading it. It did come with the exclusive ballet ticket, admissions to the ballet ticket. I haven't gotten that far in the book yet, but I wanted to read the physical copy because I also just don't want to damage the exclusive manuscript. I feel like a lot of life and wear and tear has been going on to her, so I want to keep her safe here on the bookshelf, away from harm's way. Uh-oh, there we go. Away from harm's way. That's not how that goes, I don't think. But for anyone who doesn't know what I Feed Her to the Beast and Beast is Me by Jameson Shea or Jameson Shea is, basically, as I was sold to it at Comic-Con, it is a Black Swan and Jennifer's Body retelling where our main character, Lare, I don't know fancy French names, but she's a ballerina, and because of racism, she is kind of pushed to the back and almost underappreciated as a talented dancer, and she's always having to prove herself. The people around her and in the ballet academy, and also her racist teachers, and basically just she makes a deal with the devil, so to speak, and because of that she is now a beast, as in I feed her to the beast and the beast is me. Hence the Black Swan Jennifer's Body crossover. Anyway, yep, this is the hardback. I wanted to get it because support Black authors, support new authors. I love looking at debut novels and stuff. I'm sorry that I didn't read it this year when I got it. I really tried to, but sometimes I'm in a book slump and it's not because of the book. It's just me. So I have a lot of books that I just want to read this year. Okay, those were the two books that I bought myself and the book that I found at the mall when I was with my mom. So next I'm going to show you the books that my little brother got me for Christmas. To be honest with you, my little brother and I have a weird thing with getting each other Christmas gifts. So this year, to make sure that didn't happen, he was like, send me photos of the exact books you want. So I did. I sent him like maybe 7 different books to choose from, and he picked up these 3. So first book out of the stack is Raiders of the Lost Heart by Jose Guerrero. It's about an archaeologist. I think they're both archaeologists, to be honest with you, but Dr. Socorro Mejia, her nickname is Corey, and her nemesis since grad school is Ford Matthews, and basically she says she is the world-renowned expert on the Chimale people, and she thinks that she should be the one leading this archaeological dig, and apparently she's sharing the glory with him. It's labeled a contemporary romance. The ultimate enemies to lover adventure rom-com is the review by Allie Hazelwood at the top. It just seems really cute, and I'm excited to read it. So that was Raiders of the Lost Heart. Next we have Boys in the Boat. So this is actually going to be a movie this year, and I don't think I'm going to be able to see it before the end of the year. There's a few more days left in December, but if I do end up seeing it, this will be the 2nd year in a row where a movie about rowing made me cry. And I don't know how to feel about that because I didn't expect one last year. And if I see Boys in the Boat, I'm intentionally going to do it. But this is 9 Americans and their epic quest for the gold at the 1936 Berlin Olympics. And this is by Daniel James Brown, Boys in the Boat. I feel like because the trailer's been out this year, I don't want to talk about it too much. But because I saw the trailer and I heard that it was a book, I wanted to read the book. It has that now a major motion picture sticker on it, and it's directed by George Clooney. I did not know that. I did know it was a New York Times bestseller though. So, yes, it is a rowing. If you don't know what rowing is, that is the sport in the boat where there's like 8 people rowing, and then there's a coxswain at the front who like yells row at like whatever pace you're doing. It's a whole thing. There's a rowing team at my college, and I had friends on the rowing team, so I feel like I know more information about rowing than the average person. But there was a movie, I can't remember the name right now, but it's in my Everything I Watched in 2022 video, and it's a rowing movie with Charles Melton. I literally watched it, and the guy that plays Kato in Hunger Games, and I'm not kidding, I was like, what? A rowing movie did me in? Really? Like, it was crazy. Anyway, the last book that my little brother got me for Christmas would be Heartstopper Volume 5, which I'm so excited for. Can you see? Oh my gosh, I moved it. I forgot I moved it. So Heartstopper's right here. Fun fact, every Heartstopper except for volume 3, I ordered all of my Heartstoppers off of Amazon at one point, and somehow I got the volume 3 where the 3 is at the top and Charlie's face is at the bottom. But then every other Heartstopper I've gotten, Nick and Charlie's faces are at the top. So it upsets me so much because it doesn't match. So I know that's like a really first world problem to have. It includes a Tau and L mini comic. Wait, hold on. Is the reason it's different is because it's not blue? Oh my gosh. I figured it out. Okay, well, I'll read the Tau and L mini comic. But anyway, I'm literally, this one is black and white, and that makes more sense to why it was different now. Here we go. So I have the fifth one to go right here. And that's my Heartstopper collection. I've been reading Heartstopper on Webtoons since before the Netflix series. I think I like spam read so much of it in a day. It was absolutely insane. I'm gonna leave Heartstopper up there. Okay. But yes, Heartstopper Volume 5. If you don't know about Heartstopper, it is now adapted into a Netflix TV show, but Heartstopper is a graphic novel by Alice Oseman about Nick and Charlie, these two boys in high school. One of them, okay, British, non-American schooling is slightly weird for me because like they call high school college, and then they call college, all college is called university instead of universities and colleges both meaning college, but both in high school. I want to say the American equivalent is like Charlie is a sophomore and Nick is a junior when they meet, because Charlie's turning 15, so that's like sophomores are turning 15, or yeah, some sophomores turn 16, but like I think I turned 15 in my sophomore year and 16 in my junior. Yeah, whatever. Nick and Charlie, 1 year between them, like one of them's a year younger than the other, and it's about Charlie, who is this openly gay boy at the school, but he was outed against his will. And then there's Nick, who at the time is seemingly straight, but as it turns out he is bisexual, and they're boyfriends and they love each other. And yeah, go Nick and Charlie. I love Heartstopper. Again, I read the webtoon, but I wanted to start reading the physical copies to just have it back in my brain, because I read the webtoons a while ago and I don't think I've, like, when Alice Oseman went on a break, I stopped reading the webtoon because I just, that's the only reason I had the webtoon app, I'm gonna be real with you. When she took a break, I kind of just never got back onto it. I'm behind, and maybe there'll be a twist in the 5th one that I don't know. And now we're gonna talk about the books from my mom. I'm trying to put this stack together in a nice way where it doesn't cause problems. Okay, these are all the books I got from my mom. And this is so funny because I'm doing this book haul and then I'll probably not do a book haul for months, because this is enough books to last me for a really long time. First book of the pile, this is Icebreaker. I feel like everyone knows Icebreaker. It is the first of 3, I think now, in a series. It follows different boys on the hockey team. I believe the next ones are Wildfire and Daydream, or some name like that. I'm not sure. I never bought into the hype at the time about Icebreaker, and I was like, why not read it now? This is Icebreaker. It's about Anastasia and Nate. Anastasia wants a shot at Team USA. Nate is the captain of the hockey team. It looks like Anastasia's partner in figure skating might have an uncertain future, so she might ask Nate for help. Never read this book before. My prediction, her partner is injured or sick or something, and Nate steps in to be a figure skater. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's what it sounds like. Next book on the list is Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. I only know Michelle Zauner as Japanese Breakfast. I feel like most people know of Japanese Breakfast. unless they've read this book. But it was really interesting. I think I've seen a couple YouTube videos of people talking about this memoir. I've been getting into memoirs lately. I feel like this cubby right here, oh, too far. This cubby right here has a lot of the memoirs in it and autobiographies, but I'm gonna read the description. I don't usually do that, but this one is kind of pertinent to the story. When Michelle Zauner, the indie rock musician known as Japanese Breakfast, was in her mid-20s, working as a waitress and struggling to launch her career in Philadelphia, music career in Philadelphia, she got a call that her mother was ill. She put her life on hold and flew home to Eugene, Oregon to be with her mother through her final excruciating months of her battle with cancer. This is Zauner's searingly candid coming-of-age story of growing apart from and then back together with her Korean identity, and of forging her own path in the wake of devastating loss. With humor and heart, she tells of growing up Asian American, straining to meet her mother's expectations, moving across the country, and returning home to reckon with grief. And through it all, she savors the unexpected solace of weekly trips to her favorite Asian grocery store, vivacious and plain-spoken, lyrical and honest. Crying in H Mart is an unflinching, powerful story of family, food, grief, and love. And I love that. I don't particularly lean towards stories about grief and loss just because I have a lot of experience with that, but I thought this would be a really beautiful read, especially kind of like coming to terms with some of my own grief about things. This book is... Ooh, there are photos. They included photos of their mom. So it's the personal... Oh my gosh. The exclusive Barnes & Noble edition comes with personal photos of her and her family and her mom. And I think that's absolutely beautiful. Like, I feel like it's going to add so much to the character that she is, the character that's being depicted, honestly. Now we're on to Ace of Spades. So this story is about Devin and Chiamaka, the only two black people at this very pretentious and elite school. I don't believe it's a boarding school, but it does give me boarding school vibes in a certain way, but I think that's also because I went to boarding school. When two Niveus Private Academy students, Devin Richards and Chiamaka Adebayo, are selected to be part of the elite school's senior prefects, it looks like their year is off to an amazing start. After all, not only does it look great on a college application, but it officially puts them in the running for valedictorian too. Shortly after the announcement is made, though, someone who goes by Aces begins sending anonymous text messages to reveal secrets about the two of them that turn their lives upside down and threaten every aspect of their carefully planned futures. As Aces shows no sign of stopping, what seemed like a sick prank quickly turns into a dangerous game. With all the cards stacked against them, can Devin and Chiamaka stop Aces before things become incredibly deadly? Ooh, it was a 2022 NAACP Image Award winner for Outstanding Literary Work in Youth and Teens. I'm excited. So I kind of want to do a reading everything Isaac reads from Heartstopper, so I'm not sure if I'm going to wait to read Ace of Spades then, or if I'm just going to read it early, because I do want to get to this book. Next one, I feel like I have no idea at all. I'm not even going to read the description. I'm going to go into this book completely blind. This is ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is the first book in the Sarah J. Maas series that everyone calls ACOTAR. I'm not going to read the description. I'm not. I feel like everyone talks about ACOTAR and I have no idea. I know it's like mystical, I think. I know people talk about fae and stuff. So that's honestly all I have to go off of, and I'm truly not gonna look at it because I feel like this one will be a pleasant surprise. There is a book, I'm not gonna say which one. A lot of people have loved this book. This book like took over Book Talk at the end of 2022. But there are some people who have said that this book is just a bad ACOTAR and Hunger Games collaboration. So I think I'm gonna read that book and then read ACOTAR. So if that's true, my feelings aren't hurt or disappointed or whatever the word to use in that type of situation. But if I just don't have any expectations going into ACOTAR, try not to let how every person on the internet loves the book, which is also why I only bought the first one, because I refuse to buy the other ones and hate them. Because I was talking about books that I'm unhauling or over there. You can't see them. The Mortal Instruments is over there, and I don't think I've ever talked about it on my channel, but I've had this whole debate with Maddie about the Mortal Instruments because I don't like the fact that even if it's not true, Cassandra Clare had this allusion to incest. She says that, well, and at the end of the day, kind of a spoiler, not really, they're not actually siblings. But you don't find that out, and they don't know that for sure until like a book, 2 books later. When I read that in the first book, I closed it, and for some reason, like, I looked into her, like, talking about just incest in general. She says some weird things, and I think it's a really interesting opinion to have, that incest is like, I don't know. I just wouldn't write it in my books. I think incest, pseudo-incest, no. So, everyone, I feel like, loves the Mortal Instruments, thought it over there, and I don't like it. So what I'm saying is, if everyone really likes this book and I don't want to have the entire box set, because I'm looking at the Mortal Instruments box set right now. Okay. Next, I think I'm going to do these 2 together. Bright Young Women and This Is How You Lose the Time War are 2 books that were in book recommendations by With Cindy. With Cindy is probably one of the OG book talk, booktuber people that I paid attention to. It was her, Kari Can Read, Peruse Project, and probably like one other. I feel like I have so many new booktubers to be subscribed to now, and I love them, but the OGs were, one of the OGs is With Cindy, and I love her recommendations. I actually read Educated this year because of With Cindy, so, and Educated was basically, With Cindy had a video saying, if you like Jeanette McCurdy's I'm Glad My Mom Died, you should read these books. And it was Educated by Tara Westover, and it was Know My Name by Chanel Miller, which is on my reading list for the new year. So, Bright Young Women is actually about it is about kind of the aftershocks of murders that are happening in a town by a serial killer, and it talks about how basically serial killers are not as attractive and sensational as the media and the police like to make you believe, but actually the police let the media kind of amp them up for covering up their incompetency. And basically there are murders happening at a sorority, and we have these 2 main characters who are kind of related to that. And honestly, I'm kind of just telling you what With Cindy said, and I didn't even read the description for it, but the way she eloquently talked about this book is the reason I wanted to read it. I also want to say, like, I am not a true crime girl. I'm not at all. I can't do it. I think sometimes the way the true crime community does mukbangs, or I don't know, some ways that people talk about murders and death, and they like try to almost, I don't know, they make the murderers seem so much like they make the murderers seem important and interesting instead of their victims. And it's just a whole thing I have against true crime, because I feel like sometimes they like minimize death, for sure. I feel like a lot of these things they talk about without getting like the family's consent to even talk about it, and that could be re-traumatizing for the family to see someone talking about their like child or relative's murder on YouTube. But those are my own personal opinions. I like fictional murder. I said I'm a horror fan. Fictional horror. It's not real. That's it. I like Criminal Minds. I like I started reading the Girl Taken series. I don't know what the series is called, but I read Girl Taken this year, and the next one is Girl Hunted, I think, or something like that, and it's by Blake Pierce. Those like thriller murderer things, like even the chapters with the murderer kind of make me flinch slightly. But I do prefer when it's not real. So this will be interesting for me because this is gonna be, I feel like, a little bit of mixture of it being real and fake. Maybe not. I actually have no idea. Again, I like to go into my books kind of blind, so I'm not going to do too much more detail in it. When I talk about this book, you'll know how I feel about it, but this is the same author of Luckiest Girl Alive, if you've read that book, and yeah, this is Bright Young Women. Next book would be This Is How You Lose the Time War, another book that with Cindy recommended. And basically it's letters between rival agents in the war, and just I think that's a really, really interesting composition for a story. It's pretty short. I think it's just 200 pages, just under. It's 198 pages, so it's another really, it looks a lot smaller than a lot of the books here, but with Cindy, again, talked about that book so beautifully, so I wanted to put it on my list. Next, Legendborn. I feel like everyone's read this book already, by Tracy Deonn. I've never read it, and I just haven't. I feel like there's so many more options for me now for like books with Black main characters, and I'm so excited to like just get to meet them, get to read about them, get to experience them, because when I was younger I didn't have all these options, and there are just so many books on my shelf. Well, not yet, a lot of them not yet, but there are going to be so many more books on my shelf that have like Black girls on the cover, and that just makes me so happy. But Legendborn, the tagline is "Some legacies are meant to be broken," and it's after her mother dies in an accident. 16-year-old Bree Matthews wants nothing to do with her family memories or childhood home. A residential program for bright high schoolers at UNC Chapel Hill. Ooh, they used a real school. I only know about that school because of Morgan Yates. High schoolers at UNC Chapel Hill seems like the perfect escape until Bree witnesses a magical attack her very first night on campus. A flying demon feeding on human energies. A secret society of so-called Legendborn students that hunt the creatures down. And a mysterious teenage mage who calls herself a Merlin, and who attempts and fails to wipe Bree's memory of everything she saw. Okay, Men in Black. I kind of don't want to read anything more. I'm going to stop there. Failed mind wiping. That kind of reminds, it kind of reminds me of Men in Black, because that's what happened to Tessa Thompson's character in the new international one with Chris Hemsworth. They didn't wipe her memory, so she's like, I've been looking for the Men in Black for years. That's kind of cool. Okay, Legendborn. And then we have Gwen and Art Are Not in Love. It's by Lex Croucher. I kind of know about this book. I kind of don't. All I know. So this is Lex and Art. They're supposed to get married, but apparently they're both gay. So that's his boyfriend and that's her girlfriend, and they just have a marriage of convenience. And they have little side pieces, and that's all I know. That's it. Oh, there's nothing on the back. Oh my gosh, it's King Arthur's descendant, which is funny because the only King Arthur reference I have right now is Tedros from the School of Good and Evil, and Tedros is a bi-king, so another Art descendant is queer. And King Arthur, you did one thing right. Fictionally. It's been hundreds of years since King Arthur's reign. His descendant Arthur, a future lord and general gadabout, has been betrothed to Gwendolen, the quick-witted, short-tempered princess of England since birth. The only thing they can agree on is that they despise each other. They're forced to spend the summer together at Camelot in the run-up to their nuptials, and within 24 hours, Gwen has discovered Art kissing a boy, and Arthur has gone digging for Gwen's childhood diary and found confessions of her crush to the kingdom's only lady knight, Bridget LeClaire. Realizing they might make better allies than enemies, they make a reluctant pact to cover for each other. As things heat up at the annual royal tournament, Gwen is swept off her feet by her knight, and Arthur takes an interest in Gwen's royal brother. Like Croucher's Gwen and Art Are Not in Love is chock full of sword fighting, found family, and romantic shenanigans destined to make the readers fall in love. Yes! Oh my god, he said, I want her brother. And she wants the knight. A lady knight is baller. So excited. Oh my gosh. The last book. We've made it, everyone. I feel like I've talked for an hour. I'm so sorry. The last book on my list, or the last book I got for Christmas, is Game On by Cericia Glass, the author of The Love Con. I read this in Barnes & Noble, so this description I really liked. Samara Reynolds, I'm gonna say Samara or not. I don't know if it's Samara or Samara. I know people who have that name and they say it both ways. So we're gonna go Samara for now, and I'll look it up and I'll tell you. Samara Reynolds has built a large following as a gamer under an anonymous screen name and uses her skills as a DEI consultant to advocate for equal representation in video games. When she posts a video critiquing the popular game Legends Fall, she knows she'll get a reaction from her fans. But the video leads to hundreds of female gamers criticizing the game and its company, Artemis Games. The only thing more unexpected than starting an online movement is getting a job offer from the handsome CEO of Artemis. Aaron, or because there's only one A, is it Aaron? Aaron Galanis has been on a mission to get his company certified to create gaming content for people with disabilities. When he sees Artemis trending online for all the wrong reasons, he's determined to right his wrongs and offers the original poster a mea culpa. Mea culpa. I said mea culpa. The original poster a mea culpa, as well as a job offer to overhaul the character options in Legends Fall. Working together turns Aaron and Samara from adversaries into allies, allies into friends, and after that, something more. But once the relationship goes public, will Aaron and Samara be able to weather the storm and fight for their happy ending, or is it game over? I don't think them having a relationship should be an issue, but we'll see why it is in the book, I guess. This, one more time for the hold up, guys. Great. I was just gonna say, this is the Christmas haul. Thank you again to my mom, my brother, and me for these books. I absolutely cannot wait to read them. I have more book content coming out this year, and one of those things is actually gonna be my reading journal that I set up already for 2024, and I have a reading goal this year to read about 24 books, hopefully more, but I wanted to start small this year since last year I read about 20 what? Last year I read 12, so my goal this year is 24, so that's about 2 a month. Maybe I'll do more, maybe there'll be months where I don't read at all, but thought I'd give it a try. That is everything for this video. If you have books that you think that I should read, please put them down below. And if you've read any of these books and you really like them, please let me know. But please, no spoilers. Please, 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 no spoilers. Because I have no idea how long it'll take me to get to these. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Give this video a like. Comment down below something. If you've made it this far, comment down the stack of book emojis and a purple video game character for Game On, since that was the last book I had to talk about. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and more book content coming soon. Bye!